Here's a rundown of the market performance and SPX price action for Monday, April 21st, 2025. As far as the market overview, the Dow was down 2.48%, S&P 500 was down 2.36%, the NASDAQ was down 2.55%, and the VIX increased 14% to close at 33.82, indicating higher uncertainty. In addition to the market uncertainties about tariffs, the markets wrestled with the fear about Fed independence and the antagonization by the administration toward the Fed chair. If we look at the sectors, we can see that consumer staples was down the least at minus 0.95%, and consumer discretionary was the worst impacted, down 2.67%, with all the sectors in the red. If we look at the SPX, we can see that the 20-day, 50-day, 200-day SMA, simple moving averages, are all declining, with the 50-day crossing below the 200-day on April the 14th. The SPX closed down 2.36% at 5158.2 at the close on Monday, April 21st. One of the key resistance points that I'm watching is the January 4th, 2024 anchored VWAP line, which aligns closely with the March 13 close. Breaking through that price and holding would be a significant achievement. As you can see, we have a lot of volatility since the announcement of the tariffs on April the 2nd after the close. Since then, we've had some very large candles as we move through the last couple of weeks, showing a large bit of uncertainty for the markets. If we switch over to the intraday, we can see that sellers were in control for nearly all day until the very last hour, when we saw buyers step in and take some control of the market. The VIX did close up 14%, so we're now sitting at 33.82. I'm hoping that we can see some decrease in that volatility so we can get some settling down in the market, but that's going to be challenging given all the circumstances that we have. If we look at the earnings reports, RTX did report this morning. I'll show those results here shortly. Another one of my holdings, Agree Realty, will report after the bell today. Tomorrow, AT&T reports before the bell, and AbbVie reports before the bell on Friday, April the 25th. As far as the earnings release for RTX this morning, it was expected that they would produce $19.8 billion in expected revenue. They actually reported $20.3 billion for a beat of $500 million. And their earnings per share was expected to be $1.37 per share. They actually reported $1.47 for a beat of 10 cents. If we take a look at the futures market, we can see that the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ is expected to open a bit higher today. If we take a look at RTX, we can see that they are down about 8% in pre-market trading. I wish you a great trading day and best of luck in the markets. We'll talk to you later. Bye.